Good morning. Welcome to Saturday morning live vocal technique session number 138. All right. So as you're assessing where you are right now in this moment, really think about not just what tension are you holding, but how free is your neck. You know, he goes into a lot of detail about how you just free your neck. And get that lovely spacious feeling in your neck, relieve the tension, and then you find that your head kind of floats, feels like it's floating. This is very important for singers. You can't have any kind of tension in your neck, not really, which is why the way in which we invite the breath in is so important. All right, I want you to think about that and start to invite the breath in and notice whether or not you have any extra activity in your neck as you invite the air in and out. Just try taking in some breaths and letting them go in a very relaxed way. Can't emphasize enough throughout all the things I'm doing currently with lots of different people, new people too, and of course ourselves, how important your posture is when you are singing. Okay, even if you're just doing a little kind of vocalese on your own, what you're doing with your posture is really important. Okay, I think we're good to go. So now next comes, we're going to go into our lip trills. All right, so you're focusing on all the things that you are focusing on individually. All right, your list, and then you can report back. So here we go, lip trills up and down a fifth. Here we go, and just a few more. Okay, we'll just hold there a moment. Okay, now I'm going to go straight back down without comment at the moment. Okay, here we go, with no raised shoulders or here. Okay, here we go, octaves now. Here we go, and don't drive air. Equal. Light. No frowning here. Lean forward if you have to. Last one. Okay. Oh gosh, that really does make my nose itch. If you're with me at the end, then we just achieved top C sharp. Okay, which is not bad. The emphasis here is being feather light, being light in the way in which you're engaging the sound. That means that your three pillars, your airflow is being fed to the source of the vibration. Your vocal folds are doing that. You've got good supra and subglottic pressure, i.e. onset is good. And then you're making a resonant sound by sending it up the vocal tract into your pharyngeal acoustical space. All right, so that's why lip trills are so great, okay? Because they do so much. And as long as you're maintaining the sound and you're not dropping off, your body, you should be feeling your abdominal muscles kind of doing their thing, but not too stressful. And you're certainly not looking to make a big sound. This is featherlight stuff. This is just the beginning. So let me know how you got on with that. To be perfectly honest, so soon into a warm-up, I wasn't sure I was going to get to the top C sharp, which is why I said lean forward if you need to. And of course, we know what that does. That starts to engage the lower abdominal muscles, so you get more of your sort of cooperation going on in your active muscle junctions. What you really ideally want, because of course all of this is our amplifier, our cranium, basically our skull, the sinuses, all those things, our teeth, they all act and serve as vibration receptors and therefore booming your sound out there. And so it's not so much the cheeks. You can have some vibration there, but we really want it on your nose. Now, NGs, let's just get in the right place. So you should be able to do the pinch test and it will stop the sound. Okay, just do that quickly. So the tip of the tongue is quite relaxed, sitting behind the teeth, but you can feel that the ridge, the back of the tongue, is coming up and it's meeting your soft palate. And this is where you also check the position of the jaw as you allow the to happen. You in no way do you want a kind of forward push for the you want it just relaxed. Okay, and nothing changes here. Okay, here we go. Up and down octaves. We'll just do a few and then we're going to just change it up a little bit. Okay, and feel free to keep just checking, all right, because you want this to be good for the next exercise where we're going to add the vowels. Okay. Okay, so here we go. Ready? Octaves. And no eyebrows, up and down. Keep it nice and even. How's your neck feeling? Invite the air in. It feels good. Let's just pause there a minute. We're right on the upper passaggio. All right, so we could feel a bit pinched here. This is where you've got to really believe nothing changes. All right, so I'm thinking of all of you who find this threshold, the F. And for grace, you cannot move your jaw. You know, what you can't start and tightening here. You've got to keep it the same. And believe you me, the more you get the correct reset, the more likely you are to get the larynx in the right position, and then you'll be in a much better position. And I'm not only directing this at Grace, of course, that's going through my own head as well. Let's go down one and just try going up into the higher end of our range with those thoughts in mind. Again, leaning forward if you really feel you need to make sure those active muscle junctions are doing their thing. Here we go, ready? And do one more. That was the top C again. Okay, that's feeling quite good. All right, how are you feeling yourself? In a good position? Now, we're going to move on next to the NG hum, going into the vowel exercise, coming down the octave. Okay, that exercise, and then I think what we'll do when we get through this sequence, you can give some feedback, but I'm particularly interested if you all were to do the pinch test on E, okay? Because thinking about the position of the tongue and in relationship with how you allow the air in and the position of the larynx and the active muscle junctions, that's a lot, okay? This all has to do with everything that you're all trying to concentrate on, all right? So, but this is one of the major things is how we get the vowel, the vowel to actually arrive, okay, from an NG hum. It's the NG is doing its best to place that feeling of resonance and placement of the voice, but then you've got to kind of be able to switch to the vowel and keep the voice in that same place, not drop it away, okay, and not to internalize too much. Okay, so we're going to go, oh, let's not do it too low, it makes it too hard for us sopranos. Sophie, I hope this is all right for you. It's middle C. So here we go. So we're going to do with the idea of spinning the note all the way down and not dropping off. Here we go. Ready? So R first, then E or U, coming back to R, and then we'll stop, and I want you to tell me what happened on the E. Okay? Here we go. Ready? And so I'm thinking like behind the eyes here. Air. Here we go, the test. Here we go. Hold that one. R, back to R, and okay, so thinking about all those things really helped me. And then thinking of spinning each note, keep giving life to each note, which means keeping the vibrations and making sure that I was really supporting my voice, created a really ringing tone in my head. I was just concentrating on maintaining the airflow to the source of the sound, which was making my body really work hard. So first of all, I want some feedback from you to see how you got on with the E. Now, I'll just reiterate, I know you know all this stuff, but sometimes it takes 3 or 4 or maybe more to really emphasize the fact that the whole point of this pinch idea is that when you're actually on the vowel, pinching your nose should make no change to the sound that's coming out. If you get suddenly a nasality, a nasal sound-ish happens, it means that your soft palate has kind of dropped a bit. Okay, Steve says, okay, but felt very restricted, pushed, and then coughed. Okay, so this is an area for, you can see it actually, Steve, in your singing, whilst it's lovely, you know, and you know, bearing in mind our recent conversation about you know, what's happening to your voice now. This is something you still need to work on a lot to get that lovely clarity. And probably when you were singing your Focus Friday video towards the end, when you really got this lovely lightness in your voice, this is where more of your soft palate and everything was actively engaged more. Okay. Okay, Sophie says bottom C one was the most resonant. Ooh, I've experienced so far that I've experienced so far so low. The E came out okay with a nose pinch, but there was a bit of a conflict and a little cough towards the end of it as a result. That is interesting. So this will have a relationship with the way in which you sing those vowels. Okay, so at times, yeah, this has to do with your drop off, Sophie. This idea that you're really after this lovely legato sound and tone. This is one of the things that you need to sort of think about, a simple exercise like this. Now, we can just do a couple of these on E. Okay, so let's just do... just on E. Just on E. So we're going to do the octave. We're just going up slightly. All right, so you're going to have to cope with it. I'm going to have to take my glasses off. And feel, the thing is that this idea of the soft palate being more actively engaged, it's like that kind of, you know, when you're in company and you think you might yawn and you try to not yawn or try to hide it. You can feel the inside of your mouth actually arching away. And when we're singing, that because of the way everything should be working, that's what we want. Sue says, no pushing, volume is just happening. Exactly. But if it's just happening, when we're doing songs, this is the kind of thing that you have to tell yourself, okay, my voice is fine at this pitch. I do not need to push. Okay, you need to concentrate and focus on those vowels, those vibes. Okay, here we go, folks. So the going up the octave. Okay, here we go. Let's give it a whirl. All on E. Here we go. And with the pinch test, please. Here we go. Ready? And... next one. How'd you get on? That's just something you can play around with. If the E vowel is not your true Y vowel, then you can choose the vowel that you feel has the least success and still do this pinch test. As I was explaining, you know, it's really a good way of finding out exactly how you're coping with your soft palate and the light behind the eyes and all that lovely sort of stuff that we do. Okay. All right, let's just kind of cut loose a bit. Okay, now we're going to do and believe you me, you could do the whole thing.
Okay, now that to me does not, that's, see when I'm talking, you can hear how nasal it could be.
Unless I raise my soft palate, and apart from the consonants that come out a bit kind of pinched, it's quite possible to do that whole exercise, the one we're going to do, with a nose pinch of sorts, okay? Because it's going to make you much more aware of what your habits are as you go through the vowels. So, and Grace, more than anything, you have got to pat yourself on the back every single time you do something really correctly, and kind of keep a little scoreboard and say, yes, go Grace, because it's going to be baby steps, just thinking about all these things as much as you possibly can. All right, okay, so now we're going to cut ourselves some slack, and we're going to enjoy doing some vowels. We're going to do it to this E, 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 R, O, U. E, and thinking about the vowel centering, where the vocal folds are doing their thing, the air is coming up and meeting them. We're getting, you know, a feeling of appoggio. Appoggio is appoggio. Appoggio, I think. And you're getting that feeling of this kind of resistance. And off the top of that, all your vowels are popping out. And if you really want an extra test, you could just pinch your nose. Okay, here we go. Take glasses off. Okay, are you ready? Here we go. And we just went up to the top F sharp there. All right, so you can see how this is now, this is very useful because you're thinking about, you know, in songs, how you're going to maximize those vowels, when the vowels are the things that really send your sound out there, okay? And you're singing from a very centered point. You at no time feel that you have to push your sound out to meet the audience. It should be, is this safe, what I'm doing with my voice? Okay, right, now let's continue with that exercise, but this time we're going to put some consonants in. Okay, because I promised you, I think it was last week, that we ought to do some work with consonants. So in order to sort of maintain this idea, it's going to be hard with some consonants. So it's got to be things like li 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 la 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 la. We can even do, I think, dee, 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 no, we can't, dee, 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 da, 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 da. So we will experiment. So if you're on your own and you fancy doing a bit of consonant work, you've got to be careful if you're also trying to check what you're doing with your soft palate, etc., that you are not choosing a consonant that relies on this, like So l, d, g, k, all of those, they could all be done. So I can hear some nasality in there, right, on the g. Ah, I needed to make a bit more effort. See what I mean? So it's going to be quite helpful to you if you just kind of pick and mix like this, all right? Here we go, ready? So just to reconfirm what we're doing, same exercise, but we're doing it with l, all right? So let's just go la 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 la. La 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 la. Yes, okay. Oh, hang on. I'm getting some comments which must not be overlooked. Here we go. So, Sophie says my g g g sounds nasal. G g g g g g g g g g g g g g g. That's because it's the back of the tongue, Sophie, which is a bit of your kind of eek isn't it? The back of the tongue and how lightly it can work. Sue says, nose pinch really helps with my dodgy oohs. Ooh, fantastic. Which are not as dodgy as they were. Great. And I think you can feel and hear that, Sue, in all the singing that you're doing, how free it feels. Good. Are you ready for this exercise? So, I've already forgotten what we're doing. With the L. And watch out for those naughty vowels. Okay, here we go. Ready? And. Now pause here and we're going to change to D. Lots of saliva. Because L and D, la 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 la, da 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 da, la 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 la, da 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 da, they are, the tip of the tongue is doing the same kind of articulation, this same kind of movements. Just try it. So the L is just hitting the hard palate immediately, not immediately behind the teeth. La 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 la. And why is it placed there? Because we want to relax the root of the tongue. La 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 la, da 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 da. Similar place but slightly different thickness of the tip of the tongue, making the da. Da 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 da, but it is still relatively light. Okay, so just to give you an example, let me do one for you, and it goes. I heard some nasality. Hang on, gotta get my act together. So easy to do. Okay, have some fun, people. Ready? Here we go. So da 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 da. Here we go, and. Now it is not an excuse to go wide. Okay, here we go, and. Next one. Now pause. Let's try b b b b b b, which is the lips. B b b b b b b b. Okay, so we're playing with. I was thinking whilst I was singing, what can I possibly do? And you can do this at home on your own. Right, so we're doing the same exercise, but to b. B b b b b b b b b b b. It's a bit of a strange sensation. Incidentally, that last one that we were doing it with the D. If you are in the habit of any word or song phrase that starts with a D and putting a N before it, this is a great exercise to get rid of that habit. N, N, you just want dee 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 da dee 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 da. That's very nice light articulation. But now we're doing B. B B B B B B B B B B. Should be the same. Here we go. Should give it a whirl and B B B B B B B B B experiment. This is the teeth themselves. Let's just have a bit of fun with this. So you're doing T. Now it's interesting because consonants, of course, are very important in our songs for articulation and understanding for the audience, So often the skill of our good articulation is overlooked. And it becomes, I think, and Steve, this is to do with you, about overdoing the work with the mouth. And in fact, this is not helpful. It's about pinpointing how you're articulating when you're using your vocalizing. And so these exercises are great for winkling out those consonants which truly give you grief. So you could do a little chart. I know, Sophie, you're into your charts, but you could actually do these exercises and just note. Or if you come across something that's really difficult in a song and think, well, hang on. What is that consonant there that's giving me so many problems? Look at it and then do an exercise like this that features it. So we're going to go T T T T T T T T T T T T T T T T T T. So it's not about spraying everything. Okay, Steve says hard not to go wide. Yeah, that's your habit, and you've really got to think about that. Because by going wide and doing all your gymnastics, which is such a learned pattern, you are going to be sabotaging your lovely sound. Okay. Ready for the TTTs? Okay, here we go. Ready? Oh, hang on. Just check your neck first of all. We haven't been paying much attention to that. And I did think with the B, actually, that there could be a real temptation to get tight with that. So if you feel yourself getting tight and a bit constricted, you've really got to look back to the basics and think, how am I allowing the air in? Am I really releasing the tension in my shoulders and my neck every time I get a chance to reset with the breath? Ready? Here we go. Gosh, this is really producing tons of saliva. It's a good job I'm sitting here on my own. Here we go. Ready? So T T T T T. Here we go. Thinking about the breath in your neck. Here we go. And T T T T T T Okay, if you're still feeling relatively relaxed, that was a top G. Okay, notice how your body is responding to the repeated notes. I could feel a little bit of a tension start to creep up in the back of my neck here. So I'm wanting to push forward, and the more you can counterbalance that and just stay very strong, centered, those basic fundamentals well and truly in there, then it should be fine. So you can play with that sort of exercise and do that anytime you like. I see Grace has said that B is worse so far for me. So in songs, this will play its part, you know. Yeah, and you have to really, one has to consider weaknesses in some consonants, especially if you have it like in German, consonant clusters, because they all have to be sounded as they do in Italian, and for some reason it's easier in Italian, I think, and in French actually. Let's do this one. Okay, all right, it's a nice long exercise. You can think about all the things you're concentrating on, the drop off, the, you know, whether you've got nasality going on, and drop off is kind of associated with that sort of feeling. Are you ready? So you can put all your ducks in a row, and here we're going to do a little bit of a sequence, okay, a few of them. Okay, here we go. Ready? So just check that tension in your neck, your posture. You know, I feel like I've been working hard in my body today. If you feel at a loss, just lean forward slightly because your abdominal muscles will help you. Okay, here we go. Here we go. in tune as well. Okay, now I was making a big thing about this, the point at which we stop the sound before we release. That's the wait, poise, breathe thing, and it's just rather kind of dramatically overdone, but it's just a really good exercise for just testing that reflex action in the middle and how you release for the breath. Sophie says no nasality with that one. Good, but Sophie, in terms of your own things, do you notice that with no nasality you're working harder, so there's less drop off? Are you noticing that? Think about your original focus for today. Okay, so just think how this translates, everybody, to your individual focus for the day. The nasality thing is always a bit of an issue because it has to do with, you know, your soft palate and making the best possible sound in your acoustical space. All right, so let's do the next one. Let's do C major, actually. You ready? So this should feel like hard work in the body, but when you get that reset moment, gosh, I can really feel my back muscles going boing. Okay, that loud, if you can hear a very high pitched sound, that's just my dishwasher just finishing. Sophie says, yes, very hard work physically at the end of phrases. Exactly so. All right. And that's where you don't grip, you just feed the air, and you kind of, this is your swan with really working hard with your feet. Okay? Okay, are you ready? Off we go. So check that, what's going on in your neck, your body. Here we go, and okay, that's a really good exercise for you to do because there's so much you can be doing whilst you're doing the exercise. It's great for thinking about how you're feeding the air right through to the end of that last note, even when your body is saying, oh my goodness, I don't think I can keep this going anymore. You somehow manage to keep the sound going and your body responds. Okay, so let's close now with our lovely lip trills. If you've got any comments, do keep them coming in. These lip trills are great also because the nature of a lip trill is complete. You've got lots of the elements we've been talking about because it sets everything up so well. Okay, so keep the comments coming in. I will read them as we go through the cool down. Here we go, ready? And F major, remember as we start, you've got to imagine that that's where we're starting, down here, for this position. So you're not thinking, let's drive to get that sound. You're thinking, okay, quietening your bodies and your minds now. Here we go, and try not to clench the teeth. Here we go. Here we go, and what's wrong with me? I think I'm thinking too much. Here we go. Ready with me, and Okay, that's a bottom C. Okay, so it's interesting that as we were talking about some fairly complex things today, and when you then end up doing your lovely simple lip trills, which more or less take care of themselves, it's very easy. Like I said, I think I'm thinking too much. So what I did was I cleared those thoughts and I just started to go back to that central feeling of airflow, to the vibration, resonance, and that was it. Okay, so when we start to do these technique sessions where we're starting to talk about quite complex issues, do remember that to keep it centered. When we do a fairly detailed vocal session where you're really thinking about slightly different issues, we did a lot of work with the consonants and vowels, it will do something to how you're getting your instrument to work. And I had issues too. Okay, someone at the door. I hope Peter can get that. Love to you all. Have a good Saturday afternoon and tomorrow, okay? And more next week. Okay, bye for now. See you soon, Sophie. 1:45. Bye.